Hey y'all, how's your garden going? This is Renee. I garden in Florida, 9A, maybe 9B if I have some microclimates in my yard. And I'm standing in front of my beautiful wall of camellias. And I have decided today that I want to do some air layering on a few of them. So I thought I would bring you along on my little odyssey adventure. Um, Probably not the best time to do it. This is late November. Probably better to do it in February or March for a cutoff in maybe September, November. But you know what? I got a little bit of time on my hands. I think these are fairly pretty, so I'm going to do that. You do need to be aware that a lot of these beautiful newer plants have patents on them, and you shouldn't be propagating those according to laws and guidelines. But if you have an older out of patent plant, and a lot of my camellias are over 20 years old, then you're probably going to be okay, but you should research it first if you know the name of it. All right, so let's go ahead and start that air layering. All right, so what I'm going to be using for today are one of these little balls that you can find on Amazon. I'm using some rooting hormone. I'm going to be using a razor blade, and I have some sphagnum moss that has some water soaked into it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is find one that's suitable for my air layering ball. I usually like to find an area on it that has some branching coming out from it. And the reason why is because I think that, you know, when we do our clippings and we try to root clippings, we try to incorporate some of that areas where there were leaf branching going on, because you're more likely to get a lot more of the coating in the plant to start replicating roots from that area. So I always think I should do that also with my air layering. So let me go ahead and get a little bit closer so you can see that better. All right, so this is the one that I'm gonna do, and I might do the one below it also. So I'm gonna sacrifice some of these blooms in here, and I'm just gonna pull those off right in there. All right, ooh, it's okay if it peels some of that good outer cambium off of it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my razor blade, and they say you should make like cuts that go around like that, and then you can kind of peel it off. But you know, that's for men with strong hands and wrists that totally they totally will have stronger hands, and you can control the knife better. I've done this where I've even like cut too far, so I don't want to do that. But I'm just going to peel back anything that's brown or green here and expose the good white stuff in the middle. And I'm trying to make sure that it's not too big for the black ball that's going to go around it. And I go all the way around, including the bottom of the stem. Don't want to have any of the green or brown showing all the way around. You know, this works out really nice too if you have a cross branch that you would have pruned out anyway. I go ahead and do that. Go ahead, and I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of this onto the stem itself, but you can also sprinkle the rooting hormone into the sphagnum moss that we're going to put around this. All right, so the next step is to put the sphagnum moss into the ball and make sure you really pack it in good. There we go. And like I said, if you want to go ahead and do a little sprinkle in there, it doesn't hurt. And then we're going to go ahead and wrap this around it. There we go. Make sure all that sphagnum moss is to the inside. Make sure I've covered up the wound. And then we're going to close that up. Just like that. And I will come back and water this once a week. Make sure it stays nice and moist. I might do a couple more while I'm out here. Alright, so this one got a little split down the middle, just a little bit, right here. But I don't know if you can see that. Sometimes people purposely do this and they'll stick a little piece of plastic in there and keep it open, and they think that makes it do a better job. But I'm not so hopeful for me. I'm worried about disease and things getting in here. So, you know, I've already made the cut. So I am going to go ahead and treat this as a normal air layering limb, and you know, we'll have to just see if anything good comes. So while I was rooting around trying to make some roots with this camellia, I noticed a pretty low-lying branch. So I've decided to do another type of air layering where you use a nursery pot, and it's better if they're a little flimsier. And what I'm just going to do is I'm going to cut out a V here and a V on the other side, and then I'm going to lay the branch across it and weigh it down with some stones. All right, that's all I have planned for today in the garden. I hope you go out and make something beautiful too. Bye, y'all.